guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right. 3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All right. Excuse me, folks. We're walking in with a 69 degrees on the high, 100% chance of rain. If you ain't noticed that already, then something is wrong. You ain't out of the bed yet. 54 degrees on the low tonight with a, looks like it's going to be dropping down to a little bit of a chance of rain tonight. And it is pouring out there, so y'all be careful. Have your headlights on in the whole 9 yards with that. We'd like to welcome everybody to the show today. We are live streaming on YouTube, so go check that out. And we're giving away tickets.
The Three Dog Night.
Yes, we are.
You got to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. That's all you got to do. And right now, I think we've got about 20, so you got about a 1 in 20 chance.
Yep.
Pretty good.
And 2 tickets to Three Dog Night. That's this Friday night. We will draw Saturday night. We will draw this Friday on the show. And excited. We had Greg Hartley on here the other day from the behavioral panel. We got Mark Bowden coming on. He is another one of the guys that is the rated #1 body language experts in the world. We got him coming on. Excited about that. This is some neat stuff. But anyway, and we have got Mr. Ed over here. Good morning, Mr.
Sir, you staying dry?
Nope, not at all. Nope,
It's pretty
not
pretty
at
wet
all,
out there.
man. I guarantee you. I kind of looked through the birthdays. I didn't see anybody really that just kind of stuck out. Of course, you know all the old people, but I don't.
All right, well, here's one for you. Dakota Fanning. She's only 28 years old.
I don't know what she does. What does she
An
do?
actress.
Oh, that's why.
Do you ever watch the Shark Tank?
Oh yeah.
Damon John. He is 53 today. And here's one of my favorite, Ed Too Tall Jones. Remember back in
Long, tall Jones.
Yeah, he went
Slow
from football to
walking
boxing, back to
Jones.
football.
Oh, was that not the right guy?
71 years old today. So
Happy
the rest of them,
birthday.
I don't really even care about any of these other people.
National Dog Biscuit Day.
Isn't that great?
What is a dog biscuit anyway?
What's a dog biscuit?
I mean, I wonder what's in it other than horse. I mean, I'm sure it's got horse in it, but what
No,
else?
it doesn't have horses. As a matter of fact, all the organic ones that are coming out now, have all
They've got
kinds of
horses that I guess.
peas and sweet potatoes and
Oh boy, don't you know them dogs love that? Oh, banana bread. I can handle some banana bread.
today banana bread day.
Yeah, yep.
Ooh.
I guarantee you that. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. Mark Bowden going to be on. I'm excited about that.
I'm really excited about him being on today
He
too.
was actually an actor back when he first got started out. He was the sneakers guy in the commercial, but we won't talk about that. But y'all can Google all that's going on with that. Yeah.
Did you happen to catch the news this morning? By chance on your way in?
No, I caught a school bus and dropped a bunch of kids off.
You don't listen with a headset to the news while you're dropping the kids off?
You can't do that. It's against the law.
So you don't listen with a headset and drop the kids off at school?
Yeah.
No way I could do that without a headset on. Anyway, our buddy over there in D.C., he's preparing for the big trucker convoy getting ready to hit for the State of the Union. He's got the National Guard called up now. So he's got fence, police, National Guardsmen, because those truckers are talking about freedom, personal freedom. How dare they? In D.C., of all places.
I don't know, man. I just think it's the whole world has gone crazy.
I'm starting to agree with you, Steve.
Yeah.
When you and I look like the two sane individuals,
The world is in trouble.
It is in trouble, man.
Yeah, the world is in trouble anyway. We're going to go ahead and jump to a break and see if we get Mark. He should be rolling in here pretty quick. And like I said, I'm awful excited about that. I got a lot of messages over the night. People looking forward to talking to him. So we'll see if we can get him on. Today is what a day. It is raining outside. And take us away, Ed.
It is. And,
I just heard the screams down at your mailbox, and I know why. Your water bill is 8 times what it was last month. I bet it's a leak. Call Graylin Leak Detection at 706-897-9110. Get the water bill under control when you call Graylin Leak Detection and Plumbing Services.
All righty, folks, we're back with you. Hope everybody's tuned in, turned on. You can go to our YouTube channel, watch and see this young man. We have got Mark Bowden, the world-renowned body language expert, but he explains what he does better than anybody else. Tell us about yourself, man.
Hi there, Steve. So I'm Mark Bowden. I'm an expert in human behavior and body language, and I help people all over the world to stand out, to win trust, to gain credibility every time they communicate, including some of the leaders of the G7. That's who I am. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, I'm glad you're here, man. I love your stuff, man. I love all y'all. I watched the behavioral panel I guess like everybody. I'm addicted to it, but it's amazing to me how y'all can actually read the body language, and of course it goes back to like my wife. I can read hers right off the get go. When I come in from work, I know if it's going to be good or not. But I guess that's how did you actually get started? You was actually an actor to begin with, and then is that something that you did before you got into this, or how did all this come about?
Yeah, so I started off when I was just a little kid, actually, and I was obsessed with animal behavior and then human behavior. And then I got very good with looking at pictures and creating pictures that told stories. Again, when I was a little kid.
Right.
Then I went off and I studied fine arts. And so I got into it through fine art, through visual art, through theater, through TV, through film.
Well, that's it's this the way I keep going on and on about this. I was watching one of your things, you got everything on YouTube and all the stuff that you're doing with the Truth Plane. I guess that's the truthplane.com. That's where your all your information's at. But you were talking to a group of people because you give a lot of speeches and stuff and teach people this, and you said you have already figured whether you like me or not just by looking at me right off the get-go. I mean, that's what everybody says. Don't judge a book by the cover, but people do that, right?
Well, of course you do. Like, how would you get on with life? You're walking down the street, you see somebody new in front of you. I mean, what do? Do you investigate them for hours and hours and hours and hours, or do you make a quick judgment about them? Look, you've got an instinctual part of your brain which judges people immediately. It doesn't care about truth or fact. It just cares about your safety today and being accurate tomorrow. So we judge people all the time, not necessarily accurately, but safely for ourselves.
Mark, one of the things I find it interesting because I do animal behavior work, and you are spot on. You know, when we encounter someone with an animal, we don't, like you said, you don't have 2 hours or a whole day to investigate to see, okay, is this dog going to bite me? Is this dog going to do this? By watching body characteristics, facial expressions of a dog. But I've gone one step further. And some of my young instructors, they laugh at me, but I'll watch people who come in and I have to watch them for less than 30 seconds. And I can already tell you what the problems are, or, whether it's a handler owner problem or it's an animal problem. So it does go hand in hand. And then my background with law enforcement, you really had to be good at reading people. So I think what you do is spot on and is really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is say, for example, in law enforcement, it can be very easy to feel like you're good at reading body language simply because you tend to be in environments,
right,
hopefully, where crime is being committed. Otherwise, it's very difficult to solve crime and deal with crime if you're not in the areas where the crimes are happening. So as a general bias, if you find somebody in that area, what's the chances they've committed a crime? Well, higher than if you're in other areas where people don't tend to commit crimes, or they're not in those environments. So look, we're always going to have a bias around stuff. That's okay. What we need to be able to do is sometimes suspend that bias and think more carefully about people.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can look at dogs and just right off the get-go, if it's a pit bull, I know somebody's fixing to get bit.
Or if it's any of my dogs and Steven's around, he's fixing to get bit. I used to tell police officers when I used to teach in the police academy, one of the hardest things for law enforcement officers to do is always be on guard without looking like you're on guard. 1 minute you're speaking with a lawyer or a doctor, the next minute you might be speaking with, a wino or a prostitute. You have to be on your guard, but you can't always act like you're on your guard.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Is that often we are trying to present body language that has a certain effect, and that's often what I'm doing with my clients, with the people that I work with, is what can they do with their nonverbal communication to give a very specific story that influences and persuades people. And listen, back to your point about, hey, if you see an owner with a pit bull, you can pretty much guarantee there might be some aggression there. Well, in general, do people have pit bulls because they're nice and cuddly, though we know they can be? Or do they have pit bulls for their protection or to show aggression to people? We're probably pretty accurate that they own a pit bull because they're on the more aggressive side than the passive side. And therefore, they're more likely to have trained that pit bull to be more aggressive, more than passive. But of course, as you well know, a pit bull, it can be a beautiful, cuddly creature and great with kids. Right. It's just people don't train them on the whole for that. Right. So it's a good bias to have. See a pit bull, probably going to be aggressive. Will you always be accurate about that? No, not always, but you'll always be safe if you think that.
Well, now tell us about truthplane.com. This is your website, and you do a lot of, you talk about you train for the G7 and all that. Tell us a little bit about what you do with that. I mean, what does that involve?
Yeah, so really it involves me giving information about how to use body language on purpose to win trust and credibility. And I do that with all kinds of audiences via keynotes, via webinars, just like we're kind of doing
Right.
at the moment. And then I go and see people personally all over the world, some of which are running countries right now.
That is unreal, man. I mean, absolutely. And that's the thing about body language. Scott was on, Rouse was on last night with the Putin thing, and I kind of felt a little sorry for him because he couldn't understand a word he was saying, and he's like, read his body language, but he did. So, that is, body language does not lie, right?
Well, it does if you're a good liar. I mean, that's like lying is one of our most important social skills.
Right.
If we can't lie, then it's really tricky to actually get on with people. There are a bunch of people out there who say, look, you've just got to be honest and truthful all the time. Those people are often very difficult to get along with. They're being kind of quite radical in their honesty. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're just antisocial. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to lie, and we have to be able to lie verbally and non-verbally. And so, look, we are all good liars non-verbally when the stakes are very high or even when they're not very high. So lying is important to us. We've got to be good at it.
Sometimes the stakes are high. I mean, the does this make me look fat question? I mean,
absolutely.
We're all liars, man.
Absolutely. And listen, if you were protecting somebody in your home, maybe you got some people who are after a friend of yours and they're going to do them some kind of physical damage, and you hide them in your house, and those people come round and those people say, hey, have you got so-and-so here? Well, are you going to be a good liar there or a bad liar? Are you going to be honest with them or dishonest with them?
Mark,
my guess is one of your tactics will be to be a very good liar in that situation.
Mark, what kind of people do you hang out with that you're harboring them from the police? I'm just saying.
All kinds of people.
In our government today, who would you say is the easiest to read and who might be the most difficult to read?
Oh, well, look, they're all easy and difficult depending on the stakes that are involved. I mean, let's think, from my old home country, the UK, Boris Johnson at the moment is having a good old time with some things that people really know to be inaccurate. Let's not call him a liar, but he's most probably being very, very inaccurate about it. Now, is he good at that? Not particularly good at it, but we're kind of accepting of it because who else do you put in his place? You can't have an election for quite a long time. Nobody's going to kind of dethrone him at the moment. So we all kind of tag along to the lie as long as we can until an election shows up.
Well, I watched that the other day. Y'all were doing that, the behavior panel with the girl that pushed her kids into the lake and drowned them. I remember that, and I remember when she was on TV, and I like, she's lying. She's lying. She seemed like she was very easy to read to me, because I mean, I picked up on it.
Yeah. But we've had other people who have been accused of similar things or suspicious of similar things, doing some of the similar things that she was doing, and they've been absolutely innocent, and we've called them out as being innocent. There is such a fine line between somebody who shows up to us being able to go, well, that person is most likely being inaccurate, and that person is being inaccurate, okay? So look, though you are often right some of the time, you're not right enough of the time that we ever make you judge and jury. And that's why we have a legal system, not the old medieval system where you'd stick rice in somebody's mouth and just see whether it was still dry at the end of a conversation. And if it was, you'd go, all right, kill him.
And what was wrong with that?
People lost their lives.
Oh, man, I'm with you.
Look, Stephen still believes that O.J. Simpson didn't do it. So let's,
I don't know, man.
Okay. Well, we're actually, I'll give away something. We're actually looking at O.J. Today at the behavior panel, and we'll have that out sometime on Thursday, most likely. So check in Thursday to the behavior panel and see how accurate you are.
Y'all's channel just absolutely blowed up. I mean, did you think by chance that it was going to do what it did? I mean, I don't know how many of y'all got 500,000 subscribers, I think.
Yeah, we've got close to 500,000 subscribers now. And did we think it was going to do that? No, not at all. We were just, four friends sitting down, doing what we like to do with each other, having some fun, testing our skills with each other, learning from each other. And it just so happened that there's a bunch of people out there who like to do the same thing. And so, if you're somebody who likes to do that, you're very welcome. Come over to the behavior panel. It's great fun.
Well, I think the chemistry between all you guys are just great. I mean, honestly, and that is something I didn't think about. I guess y'all do pick up on different stuff that the other ones might pick up, and you're like, well, I didn't notice that or something. I guess it kind of hones your skill a little bit being with all, because y'all are like the top guys in the world.
Yeah, so there is very much a sense of that we do like being together because we're pretty agreeable and we're pretty good at getting on with people. So, when you see us getting on, it's because you have 4 people who are good at getting on if they need to get on with people, because influence and persuasion and being able to understand other people and get information from them, that's part of the skill set that we have. But also we like to learn from each other. As well. Where else do we get information when you're, some of the best in the world? Where else do you get the information from? Well, the others who are best in the world.
Well, it's a lot of fun. It really is. Now, do you actually sit there while you're doing this? Do you read their body language just to make sure they're on? It's like,
no,
okay.
No, I have a bit of a rest from all of that. It's quite nice to just kind of sit down, be with people that you enjoy the company of,
right.
Have a chat. I mean, like your show right now, there'll be a certain element, my guess is, where you're trying to, work the structure that you have.
Right.
But at the same time, you like to sit down with your friends and have a chat.
Well, now, here's something